Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1920B, and today's date is July 18th, 2019, and the title of the episode is Timing is Everything, Strategically Planned from the Beginning. Now, before I get started, I want to talk about emergencies, disasters. When an emergency strikes, what's your first impulse? If your answer is to run to the grocery store, you'll likely find chaos and nothing but empty shelves. How do you avoid this? It's simple. You use today to make a plan, to prepare. I trust and use my Patriot Supply for my food storage. Have you seen the 2-week food supply in a locking tote from my Patriot Supply? If not, get online now and get a few. And save $62 off the regular price of this 2-week emergency food kit when you go to my special website, preparewithx22.com. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, we've been waiting for justice to come, waiting for Trump and the Patriots to bring people to justice. And Q has been telling us that timing is everything. And I do believe the Patriots, Trump, they're waiting for something specific to happen to use what they have. And now with Epstein brought out into the public eye, I believe that all the pieces are now coming together. But still, they're not going to use everything they have, because I think what they're waiting for the deep state to play their hand. And once they play their hand, Trump and the Patriots will then allow it all to come out, because they've timed this. They've gone over all the scenarios. This has been strategically planned from the beginning, and we're going to be talking about that in just a bit. But first, I wanted to talk about this vote once again by the House, and they voted to have Trump impeached. So the Democrats in the House had their first official opportunity to vote on a resolution to impeach Trump. This impeachment vote is what all the most vocal political opponents have been asking for. This impeachment vote is what CNN, MSNBC, mainstream media panelists have been advocating since November 2018. This is what every Democrat presidential candidate has supported. This was the put up or shut up moment for those individuals. And it finally came. This was their moment. So what happened? 332 to 95 voted to kill the resolution to impeach. So 95 Dems want to impeach. The rest don't. Think about that for a sec. Those who scream the loudest have the most to lose. Byron York tweeted out the following. House rejected Trump impeachment 332 to 95. But vote showed 95 Dems ready to impeach Trump for anything. Don't need Russia, obstruction, high crime, misdemeanor. Article would have impeached president for causing harm to the society of U.S. Now there are many individuals, like those 95 Dems, who are panicking. Many on the outside, looking in, who are not part of the government, they are panicking. Look at Tom Steyer, who's all of a sudden running for president, who has been pushing for impeachment. He tweeted out the following. To each of the 137 Democrats who voted to table an impeachment resolution yesterday, I have just one question after the president's rally last night. Why aren't racism and inciting a mob against an American and sitting congresswoman impeachable offenses? It's not a crime. And also, there was no racist mob. And the American people have the right to call out certain government employees. Remember, they work for us. And if we don't like them, guess what? We can speak up about it. Now, what's very interesting, the impeachment failed, Russian collusion failed, obstruction failed, the hush payments failed. All of this is falling apart. Now remember, I do believe that Trump and the Patriots have been baiting the deep state into looking into these things because they knew each one of these things was going to fail. And just like we found out yesterday, the illegal hush money payments turned out to be absolutely nothing. Remember, if they had something, it would be leaked out, it would be all over the mainstream media, and they'd be harping on it. When they don't have anything, you don't hear anything about it because they know it's a nothing burger. So far, we've had all of these nothing burgers, but they're continuing with the investigations. Think about what they're doing right now. Trump and the Patriots are exposing them for who and what they really are. They're getting nothing done except they're going after a president. And each turn, it's showing that they have nothing. It's a dead end because there was nothing there from the beginning. And they thought that Mueller was going to provide everything they needed, and it didn't happen. Now, the House came out and they voted to hold Barr and Ross in criminal contempt over the census citizenship question. So they went ahead with a vote, 230 to 198 vote, and the Republicans completely voted against the resolution. Now, this whole thing is a political stunt. Why? Because the contempt resolution will be sent to the U.S. Attorney's Office in D.C. Do you think Bill Barr, who oversees the office, is going to do anything? No. This was a political stunt. Now, Barr and Ross, they sent a letter to the committee, and they said, listen, we have given you everything that we have. We provided you with everything, but still you decided to do this. What did they provide? 17,000 pages in 8 separate document productions since February. Since January, the Department of Justice has received over 50 oversight letters and subpoenas from Congress. The Department of Justice is actively working to accommodate Congress' legitimate oversight interest and has, in the past several months alone, made nearly 40 document productions, including more than 70,000 pages. Department of Justice has also made multiple witnesses available for briefings, transcribed interviews, and committee hearings. But they really didn't care about that. This is a political stunt. Now, we've been talking about Omar, and Trump had a rally, and right before he took off for this rally in North Carolina, reporters were asking him questions. And Trump said something very, very interesting. Now, we've been talking about Representative Omar. We went through all the documentation, the dates. David Steinberg did a lot of research on this, and it shows that Representative Omar might have married her brother. And this is a problem. Now, we know that Trump tweeted out and said, listen, these congresswomen should go back to their country, fix their governments, then come back to the United States and tell us how it's done. Didn't talk about race, didn't name names or anything like that. Of course, they thought it was them. Trump started to call them the squad, even created a video, which we showed yesterday. But while he was being interviewed, Trump said something very interesting. Take a listen to what he said.
Well, there's a lot of talk about the fact that she was married to her brother. I know nothing about it. I hear she was married to her brother. You're asking me a question about it. I don't know, but I'm sure that somebody would be looking at that.
Mr. President, are you sending Rand Paul to the...
Now, we need to remember something very, very important here. Trump doesn't just say things unless he has facts and proof to back it up. Now, of course, he said, I know nothing about this. This is what I heard. And of course, what he's doing is he's putting this out there, letting the mainstream media mull over it, letting everyone talk about it. And more information is coming out. Actually, Jim Acosta, he tweeted out the following. Congresswoman Omar has denied this and other claims about her as disgusting lies, but Trump was willing to dive right in. So the news is taking the word of Omar, saying that she denies it, we believe her. Well, when Trump denied Russian collusion, obstruction, giving hush money to someone or anything else, they started investigations. Isn't it the mainstream, or should I say, well, it used to be the mainstream media's job, but instead of the mainstream media just saying, listen, They denied it. We take their word. Shouldn't the mainstream media, if they're really reporters and they like to investigate, and they shouldn't investigate because that's their job, shouldn't they look into it and say, okay, Trump is saying something, people are saying something, Omar's denying it. Let's look at all the facts. Let's see where it brings us. And then we'll decide who's telling the truth or not. Instead of tweeting out, well, she denied it, but Trump keeps jabbing at her. Well, Trump, remember, denied Russian collusion, obstruction, everything else, but they hired someone to investigate him. Why with him do they investigate? With Omar, they do nothing. This should tell you something right off the bat. Now, yesterday, the New York Times ran an opinion piece on Trump and how there are no good Dems to choose from. And like I said yesterday, it seems that the deep state is waiting for the right moment to reveal this new person that is running. Now, my guess, I said yesterday, is Michelle Obama. It could be someone else, but I'm going to stick with my guess right now. And I'm not saying I'm right, but I do believe they will pull someone out at the 11th hour who they believe is going to be able to challenge Trump. Now, Obama, Biden, as we know, they continually repeat the same slogan, that Obama had no scandals during his presidency. Think about what they are saying, and then think about what Trump and the Patriots have on all these people. They have the biggest scandal America has ever seen, driven by the Obama administration. FISA, spying, blackmail, working with other countries to spy on Americans, email scandal, Uranium One. Not to mention the intelligence-controlled Epstein blackmail system. Think about this for a sec. Why would Trump and the Patriots play their hand right now? I do believe they're waiting for the right time, because we know timing is everything. When the deep state presents their 11th hour candidate, I do believe the Patriots will make their move to bring it all down and shut it down. Remember, if Trump doesn't win the 2020 election, it's game over. So Trump, the Patriots, they have to win the 2020 election to finish the job. They couldn't do it in 4 years. They might not even be able to do it in 8 years. But they need to get rid of all of this. Let's go back to post 1644 for a sec. This is June 2018. And I'm going to read from the middle of this post. It says, people will be lost. Now remember, the people, they've been sleeping for a very long time. They believe the mainstream media. I know a lot of people are waking up, but there's many, many individuals that are still sleeping. And Q says people will be lost. People will be terrified. People will reject. People will need to be guided. Do not be afraid. We will succeed. Timing is everything. And timing is everything. Post 2161. Q says, rats running. Timing is everything. Enjoy the show. Q is letting us know they've timed this. There's a reason they're holding back. There's a reason why Epstein was brought into the mix. There's a reason why they're waiting to release all of this. It's being done for a specific purpose. And we're going to see that happen very, very soon, because they've timed this strategically to happen exactly when it needs to happen. And this is why we've been seeing the buildup. We just couldn't have the FISA, the Uranium One, the email scandal, because people would say, yeah, all right, they spied. Who cares? It's not that big of a deal. But when you bring in Epstein and you have the same mix of people, now it looks a little different, doesn't it? Because you look at those individuals and you say, okay, they spied, but wait a minute. They're involved with having sex with children? I mean, what kind of person is this? It makes it a lot easier to believe and to understand who they are. And all of this has been timed perfectly. I mean, look at Jeffrey Epstein right now. This individual is a front man. We have players behind the curtain, and he is the front man. I mean, he was denied bail, despite his legal team's best effort to convince the judge that he's not a flight risk. Well, he's not going to get bail right now. He's not the main person. Yes, he's disgusting. They used him. They financed him. But there are other people behind the scenes. This was an operation to blackmail a lot of players. This was an operation that was set up on purpose. And what's very interesting is that the Clintons monitored news about Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Clinton. What do I mean by this? Well, hacked emails, which were previously published by WikiLeaks, show members of Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign staff routinely monitored the news media for associations between Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein. One email sent to Podesta from Bill Clinton's chief of staff, Tina Flournoy, contained a January 2015 BuzzFeed article titled "Plenty of Innuendo, but No Hard Evidence of New Clinton Sex Scandal." The subtitle was, "Much discussed documents in Jeffrey Epstein affair don't live up to the hype." She said, "Good." One email titled 2016 GOP hit on HRC was widely circulated among Clinton campaign staff and DNC officials. The message contained the text of Fox News article titled "Flight Logs Show Bill Clinton Flew on Sex Offender's Jet Much More Than Previously Known." So it looks like the Hillary Clinton campaign, they were monitoring the news that would link Clinton and Epstein. And they made sure that none of this was going to come out. I find that very interesting because now what is the mainstream media doing? They're not even reporting on it. They're not even investigating on how these links lead to all these people flying the plane, going to the island, and they're just looking the other way. And this is why we see Wikipedia. This is why we see Google searches. This is why they changed all of this so none of this comes up. But guess what? The Patriots have it all. This is being timed perfectly. And they're going to use it when the time is right. Now, Trump is continuing to tweet out why having open borders are so bad, allowing individuals in where we don't vet them at all. Trump tweeted out the following: "Most of the MS-13 gang members indicted and arrested in LA were illegal aliens, 19 of 22. They are said to have killed many people in the most brutal fashion. They should have never been allowed in our country for so long. 10 years, we have arrested and deported thousands of gang members, in particular MS-13. ICE and Border Patrol are doing a great job." And Trump and the Patriots, they're continually pushing the agenda to shut down the borders. The deep state wants open borders. Why? Because they use these individuals to manipulate the votes. And this is just one way of manipulating votes. They do it in many, many different ways, and we'll be talking about that in Q's post. So let's get into Q's post. This is post 3438. And Anon puts up a picture at the North Carolina rally, and we see an individual holding up a baby, and it has the letter Q on it. Down below, it says, "Where we go one, we go all." Take a listen to what Trump said about this baby at the rally.
Beautiful baby. Look at that beautiful baby. Wow, what a baby. What a baby. That is a beautiful baby. That's like from an advertisement. Perfect. Look how happy that baby is. So beautiful. Thank you, darling. That's really nice. It's a great thing. Is that your husband? That's a great thing. Thank you. Congratulations, husband. Man. What a picture. But we're going to have the country all set for your child, okay? also. Because that's what it's about. Now, the media will say that's a prop. They say, no baby's so beautiful. That had to be a setup. I never saw that guy in my life, which is true. Thank you. Good luck. Thank you very much.
Now, Trump continually pointed out the baby, made a really big deal about it, and everyone was staring. Now, of course, he said he doesn't know the parents. This is not a prop, because he said the mainstream media was going to say that this was set up, and he was very clear saying, I don't know any of these individuals. Now, why was this done? To provoke the mainstream media to ask, who is Q? Let's move on to post 3439. Q gives us a link to the Crimson Jet. And Crimson Jet posted Q baby pic with older drop about Q Annan baby and said, what are the freaking odds on this? So when we go back to post 2347, we can see that this is a Twitter link. It's Q Annan baby. And what is Q Annan baby? Well, the Twitter link refers to Q Annan baby, also known as VIP Annan. Let's go back to October 5th, 2018. VIP Annan was at a rally with Trump. And this is what it says. VIP Annan here. I hate that name, by the way. I am not VIP, and I'm not really anonymous anymore, laugh out loud. But I want to thank all the bakers and anons here that contribute so much to the Q movement. So I went to the rally tonight, and I had the privilege to meet Trump. What a great guy. Very personable and very nice in person. I had the opportunity to take a picture with him that they will mail at a later date. So after the photo was taken, I asked him the question. I have a question for you. Trump said, okay. VIP Anon says, is Q real? Trump, he looked me right in the eye, paused for an uncomfortable second, then threw out his hands to the side and said, I don't know, maybe. Another pause, then said, I do know they are great people. Me, I said, yes, they are. So later on, this individual received a package from the White House. And it was a picture of him and Trump together. There was also a folder in there that had 3 brackets on each side with a plus in the middle, signifying Q plus, and the 3 brackets on each side correlates to where we go one, we go all. So you can see that this is definitely Q plus. It is the president and Trump, the White House, they're confirming this. Post 3440. And Anon puts up, what are the freaking odds on this? That whole Q proof. And down below, the Anons responded to outside of the standard deviation. And this was on the previous post, which I forgot to read. So down below on the previous post, it said outside of the standard deviation. And this Anon responded to that and said, well, outside of it. Q then responded, date today, July 17th. This was the date of the rally. The 17th, Q with a question mark, which is the 17th letter of the alphabet, which stands for Q. How many coincidences before mathematically impossible? Well, right now it has become mathematically impossible that these are all coincidences. Q says, for Anons, patriots, Q. Trump right now is baiting the mainstream media to ask the question, is Q real? The media refuses to ask the question, but the question must be asked. Why doesn't the media ask who is Q? Because they already know who Q is. Since they already know the answer, they will not ask the question. Once Q's identity is publicized and confirmed by Trump, it's game over. And this is why we've heard in the past the mainstream media have instructions not to ask that question. Post 3441. Q gives us a Twitter link to Good Medicine for Us. Now, this is a video of Ted Cruz questioning Dr. Epstein about Google and their practices back in 2016 on how they manipulated millions and millions of votes. Take a listen to Ted Cruz and Dr. Epstein.
To know who the Hillary Clinton campaign's number one financial supporter was in the year 2016?
I think I do, but please remind me.
The number one financial supporter of the Hillary Clinton campaign in the 2016 election was the parent company of Google, Alphabet, who was our first witness. They were her number one financial donor, and your testimony is, through their deceptive search methods, they moved 2.6 million votes in her direction. I would think anybody, whether or not you favor one candidate or another, should be deeply dismayed about a handful of Silicon Valley billionaires having that much power over our elections to silently and deceptively shift vote outcomes.
Again, with respect, I must correct you. The 2.6 million is a rock bottom minimum. The range is between 2.6 and 10.4 million, depending on how aggressively they used the techniques that I've been studying now for 6.5 years.
Wow. Could you just say that again, please?
The 2.6 million is a rock bottom minimum. The range is between 2.6 and 10.4 million votes, depending on how aggressive they were in using the techniques that I've been studying, such as the search engine manipulation effect, the search suggestion effect, the answer bot effect, and a number of others. They control these, and no one can counteract them. These are not competitive. These are tools that they have at their disposal exclusively.
If any headline comes out of this hearing, that should be it.
So as you can see, and we mentioned before, with illegals coming into the country, with the control of Google, Facebook, Twitter, they have the ability to manipulate the elections. And this is what they've been doing for a very, very long time. And now it's all being exposed. And I do believe that the White House, where they were gathering this information, who's been shadow banned, who's been shut down, they looked at the midterm elections in 2018. They gathered all this information. I do believe the push for voter ID is coming very, very soon. And I believe this is why we're starting to see all of this come up. Even Judicial Watch, they have been pushing and cleaning up voter rolls because there's been hundreds of thousands, even millions of people that shouldn't even be on there. A lot of them dead. A lot of them don't match up with anything, and they're being removed right now. The public is waking up to the truth on how the entire system is rigged. Post 3442. Q says, please revert bread back to original form. New structure eliminates, reduces the hive mind, cataloging and expansion. Why change a good thing? Q asked the board owner to go back to what they originally had. What they have right now is not working. Post 3443. Anonymous says, will do, which is the board owner. And Q says, thank you to the board owner. 3444. The board owner says, Anons will ask, does this include removing the CAPTCHA? Q says, CAPTCHA can be easily bypassed by those who would seek to cause disruption. Having active serves no purpose. So the CAPTCHA, they can bypass it, and it serves absolutely no purpose, so they're getting rid of it. Post 3445, the board owner says, done, thank you for the direction. Q says, thank you for your continued service, board owner. It is greatly appreciated. And from everything that we've been discussing all along, we know that Trump, the Patriots, Q, this plan has been strategically planned out for a very long time. Yes, in our minds, we let our egos take over where we want it now. Let's get this over with. But remember, they're doing this on purpose. It's not just about, oh, let's get these certain people and throw them into prison. It's about exposing their plan to America, showing what they're really about and what they had planned for America. And if you notice, they've done this in different phases. The awakening, where people were waking up to what was really going on. They presented the spying, the FISA, the email scandal, the uranium one, who was involved. They dripped this all out to educate the public, as many people as they possibly could. Then they moved into phase 2, where they started to expose all these individuals, to turn the tables on them, where they would go on the defensive and the patriots would then be on the offensive. And Trump continually tweeted out that the Mueller thing is a witch hunt. They have nothing. The Mueller report came out and it was nothing. And you can see all the investigations, they are turning up nothing. During this whole period of time, they continually baited the deep state, the Dems, and brought all of their plans out from the dark into the light so people can see what they're really about and what they really wanted to do. While this was happening, all of a sudden, we had Epstein appear. Epstein was brought out and panic really started to set in. And we know that these people are panicking because we saw Adam Schiff tweet out that he wants YouTube, Google, Twitter, and the rest to do something about the deep state, the deep fake videos, which will be coming out. And these will not be deep fake videos. These will be real videos, but he wants the social media to shut them all down before they even get out there, which means censor. This is all being done to show the American public who these people are, what they do, and it will ruin their reputation. It will destroy all of these people. Now remember, most of these people look up to them. People look at them and say, hey, they're great. They don't do anything wrong. There was no scandals in the Obama administration. Think about when they release the Epstein information. Think about when they release the videos, the audio, everything that they have. What will people say then? Yes, they'll try to block this. I'm talking about the deep state and the mainstream media saying these are all deep fake. But then we'll have people come out and say, no, these aren't. These are the originals. Actually, they're not even digital. These are the original tapes from the closed circuit TVs. And people will analyze them and they will be shown to be absolutely real. Then there'll be audio. And when you produce so many of them, are you trying to tell me that all of these are fake? No. Then we'll have documentation. All this will be found at Epstein's place. It'll be brought out into the open. All the links and everything will be connected together. Now, when they come out with the spying, the FISA, and everything else, and these people are linked with it, those people that have been screaming very, very loudly, Hollywood actors, actresses, and the rest, everything will start to make sense to a lot of people. I understand why they didn't want Trump to do this. Oh my God, these people are disgusting. This has been planned. It's been timed. Now, even like I said prior, the deep state is getting ready to maneuver and bring out their candidate, which they do believe will have a chance to go up against Trump. I believe they're saving all of this for the right moment. Even Acosta, who was on Trump's administration, he was there on purpose. Remember, during the nomination, they asked him, questions about Epstein. Is this case completely done with, that everything's done? Yes, it is. So they wanted him nominated. They wanted the deep state to feel comfortable. They kept him there for a specific reason. Because when they brought this information out about Epstein, they wanted him to say, well, certain individuals approached me. They were part of the intelligence organizations way above my pay grade, and they told me not to pursue this anymore. They wanted that information out there. This has been planned from the beginning. And now, as this builds and they have all this information, when that candidate comes out, or whatever timing they choose to release all this, it's going to be very damaging. And I do believe they're waiting for the right time because they have it planned. They know what the deep state's going to do. They know what they're going to try to do. Remember, they're not just going to let Trump just win the election. They're going to challenge this. And Trump and the Patriots, I do believe they've planned this, and they know they need to do this at the right time to take it all down, to ensure that Trump wins with no problem. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.